So let's try a couple more examples before we move on to the remainder theorem. All right, so we have our polynomial here is 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x plus 7. We have an x cubed, an x squared, an x to the 0, so we're all good with that. It's being divided by x minus 2. So your x minus 2 is here, and your other polynomial goes under here. 5x squared plus 3x plus 7. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to actually focus on this x and see what it takes to get it to 2x cubed. Well, I need to multiply by 2, and I need to multiply by an x squared. So I'll go ahead and do that multiplication. So 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 is negative 4x squared. Remember, we're doing that subtraction. So 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. Negative 5x squared minus a negative, so plus negative 5x squared plus 4x squared is negative x squared. Bring down your next term, you have a plus 3x. Now, what will I multiply x by to get to negative x squared? Well, if I multiply by negative x, it will get me there. So negative x times x is negative x squared, and negative x times negative 2 is positive 2x. And again, we're doing that subtraction. So negative x squared plus x squared gets me 0, and 3x minus 2x is 1x. I'll bring down my next term, so I have a plus 7. What do I have to multiply x by to get to x? Well, that's just a 1. So if I multiply by 1, I get x minus 2, which I'm going to subtract. X minus x is 0, and 7 minus a negative 2, 7 plus 2 is 9. Okay, so my answer becomes 2x squared minus x plus 1. And then remember, I have to put that remainder, but I'm going to do that remainder as 9 over what I'm dividing by, which is x minus 2. Now, what the last screen told us was that if we take this answer, the quotient, and multiply by our divisor, we should get the numerator, right? So that's what we're going to try and do here, just to check and see if we're right. So we're going to take x minus 2, and we're going to multiply it by 2x squared minus x plus 1 plus 9 over x minus 2. All right, so I'm going to take this 2x and distribute it to both pieces. So 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 is negative 4x squared. I did all of that one. Now I move to the negative x. So negative x times x is negative x squared. And negative x times negative 2 is positive 2x. I did all of that one. So I move to the 1. 1 times x is x. And 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And now I take this whole thing, multiply by that whole thing, and notice this matches the denominator, so they actually cancel out. So what I get is just plus 9. So let's go ahead and simplify, combining like terms. We've got 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x and x, 3x. And negative 2 and 9 is plus 7. And sure enough, that is the numerator, so we know we did the division right. So there is our answer to the question. Okay, again, if you're still writing, remember you can pause the video, but I'm going to move to the next example. All right, so in this example, we're taking 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus, well, wait a minute, we're missing an x term. What we actually need to do is put a placeholder right in there for our x term. All right, so when I write this, I've got x plus 3 being divided into 2x cubed plus 5x squared. And the placeholder, just like in regular integers, the placeholder becomes a 0. We just have to make sure that variable is in there so that we have 3, 2, 1, and none. So plus 9 is our none. All right, now let's go ahead and do that division. So x times what gets me to 2x cubed. And I believe if we multiply by 2x squared, it should get us there. So 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. And 2x squared times 3 is 6x squared, which I'm subtracting. So this goes to 0, and this subtraction gives me negative x squared. Bring down my next term. That's why that 0x is important. I have to have that x term in there. So what would I multiply x by to get to negative x squared? I believe negative x will do it for you. So negative x times x is negative x squared. And negative x times 3 is negative 3x. If we hadn't put that placeholder in there, we would have had nothing to subtract the 3x from. All right, so we have a negative x squared minus a negative x squared, again plus, so that's 0. We have 0 minus a negative, again that turns to plus, so we actually have a 3x. And bring down our next term, plus 9. So what do I multiply x by to get to 3x? And that's just a 3. So that gets me 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. So that gets me a remainder of 0. Remember, when we have a remainder of 0, what it's telling us is that x plus 3 is actually a factor of that polynomial. So this thing is going to equal 2x squared minus x plus 3 with no remainder, or you could write 0 over x plus 3 to show there is no remainder. That would be your answer. And we can do that check like we did on the last screen, where you actually take this thing and multiply by x plus 3, and you should end up with that numerator there. All right, so the last example we're going to do of these is this division here. So we have an x cubed, but now we're missing an x squared term, so don't forget to put that in. We have x plus 1 that we're putting into 3x cubed plus 0x squared plus 5x minus 1. All right, so what do I need to multiply x by to get to 3x cubed? I believe 3x squared will get you there. So 3x squared times x is 3x cubed, and 3x squared times 1 is 3x squared, which I'm subtracting. That gets me 0. When I do the subtraction, I get negative 3x squared. Bring down the next term. Okay, what do I multiply x by to get to negative 3x squared? Well, I need the negative 3, and I need an x. And that actually gets me negative 3x squared. And negative 3x squared times 1, negative 3x times 1 is negative 3x. And I'm subtracting this whole thing. So that would get me 0. But 5 minus a negative 3x, which turns to addition, gets me 8x. Bring down the next term. Oops, I almost put a plus. That's not right. That should be a minus 1. Okay. What do I multiply x by to get to 8x? Plus 8. So that would get me 8x plus 8. And that's what I'm subtracting. When I do the subtraction, I have 0 here, but negative 1 minus 8 gets me negative 9. So this, in fact, x plus 1 is not a factor, because I did not get a remainder of 0. But my answer will be written as 3x squared minus 3x plus 8 plus negative 9 over x plus 1. There is your result.